Hello friends, this is Prabhu and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel that is One Page Biology. So dear students, you all will be wondering why the name of the channel is One Page. Let me tell you, in this channel I am going to come with special kind of video lecture series in which in every video I will be covering a single page of your biology textbook. So whether it is a state board textbook, of course those who are preparing for 12th standard board examinations, for example Maharashtra state book, I will be covering that. At the same time, I will also cover that is NCERT textbook for those students who are CBSE students and those which will be appearing for CBSE board exams. So the whole idea behind this is focusing on the textbook, dear students. So when I cover each and every page, I'm sure that you will be confident about every line of biology, because dear students, I'm sure some of you must be preparing for entrance exams, that is NEET. Some may not be preparing for entrance exams, but even if you are preparing for a normal board exams, dear students, your concept must be absolutely clear. And for that, you need to understand well every line of biology. Okay, so dear students, today I'm going to start with one of the topics of your biology, that is 12th standard Maharashtra textbook topic, and the name of the topic is respiration and circulation. So let me show you the textbook first of all. So to all the students who are preparing for their board exams, I'm pretty sure that you all have this particular textbook with you all. So I recommend that whenever you will be watching this video, you can have the textbook simultaneously with you and sit with a pencil or a marker possibly, and wherever I tell you something which can be important or a process or something which the meaning is in sometimes I give you a simpler version of the same, you can simply note it down. Okay dear students, so let us begin with this interesting video lecture series, and in today's video, as I said, I am going to start with one of the topics of your 12th standard Maharashtra textbook, that is respiration and circulation. So let me start with this topic, guys. Now in the beginning of the chapter, let me tell you, as you can see in the beginning of the chapter, there are 3 questions which have been mentioned. So what I will do is I'll read it out for you all. The question says that first is definition of respiration, second is what are the types of cellular respiration, and the third question is why should we respire all the time. Now dear students, all 3 questions, that is, one is what is respiration, what are the types of cellular respiration, and third question is why should we respire all the time. All 3 we will try to answer it at the end of this video, because once you understand the concept of respiration, I'm pretty sure you will be yourself be able to answer these 3 questions on your own. Okay, so let's begin. Now in the first introductory paragraph itself, as you can see in the textbook, in the first introductory paragraph, what they have explained. Now basically guys, what exactly is respiration? Now if I ask you what is respiration, you will wonder, sir, respiration means breathing of gases. That means exchange of gases, or we take in oxygen, we give out carbon dioxide. So when you say that intake of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide, you are absolutely right. So respiration itself is exchange of gases. But dear students, what exactly is the need of exchange of gases? Why do we take in the oxygen, we give out carbon dioxide? Why every animal does that? Why also plants take in oxygen, give out carbon dioxide? So the answer is mainly to break down the stored form of energy. Let me give you a simple example. For example, in our cells which are present in our body, there are different kinds of compounds which are present, like glucose, proteins or fats which are present in our cells. And these compounds, they contain lot of energy. So, but these compounds cannot be directly used by cell. These compound needs to be broken down into simple form. So for example, when glucose is broken down with the help of oxygen, what is formed? Carbon dioxide plus water and energy is released in the form of ATP. What is the full form of ATP? ATP is adenosine triphosphate. So in your textbook, dear students, they have very well given the explanation, equation of respiration. What does it say? What is the equation of respiration given? It is C6H12O6. C6H12O6 plus 6O2, okay, will form 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus 38 ATP. That means, dear students, when glucose is broken down, what all products are formed? Carbon dioxide plus water, and energy is released in the form of ATP. Now you may wonder, sir, glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen in this case. So what is it called? Yes, dear students, the answer is aerobic respiration. So when glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen, it is called as aerobic respiration. Now you may wonder, sir, can glucose be broken down in the absence of oxygen? So for that, answer is yes. Glucose can also be broken down in the absence of oxygen, but that will be called as anaerobic respiration. So in this chapter, we are not going to talk about anaerobic respiration. For respiration, as we said, there is exchange of gases which is important. So oxygen needs to be taken in and carbon dioxide is given out. For example, here they have mentioned about the organs of respiratory exchange. So they have explained us that what should be the features of the organs. So the very first feature, as they have explained, is they are saying that it should have a large surface area. Now let me give you an example. For example, let's say plants. In case of plants, we all know from where do they take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide? Yes, my dear students, the answer is right. The answer is leaves. From leaves, the oxygen is coming in and carbon dioxide has been given out. So how about the surface area of leaves? Is it less or it is more? Yes, the answer is the surface area of leaves is extremely more, or it is large, and that's why more amount of oxygen can be taken by the plant. So that means surface area has to be more. Similarly, if you talk about our example, inside our lungs there are sac-like structures called as alveoli, and these alveoli also has got a large surface area. So that oxygen, whatever oxygen we take in, all that oxygen will be spread out in our body through those alveoli. Okay, fine. So first point is the respiratory organ should have large surface area. Second, they should be thin and highly vascular and permeable to allow the exchange of gases. So thin means, obviously, if it is to have if there has to be the exchange of gases, for smooth entry of gases, the surface should be how? It should be thin. That's why, dear students, how are the leaves? Are they thin or very thick? They are thin. Of course, then if you talk about even in our case, sometimes the alveoli, they also have thin surface. So likewise, every respiratory organ must have a thin surface. Fine. Going ahead, they are saying that the respiratory surface should be vascular. So vascular means this, they are talking in terms of animals. So for example, in animals, for example us, alveoli are, the inner surface of alveoli has got something called as blood vessels. So whenever we take in the oxygen, that oxygen is going from alveoli into the blood vessels. That is the arteries. And arteries carry the oxygenated blood, as we all know. So sometimes in higher animals, basically the respiratory organ has to be vascular. That means they should have blood vessels. And last, they are also saying that the respiratory surface should allow the exchange of gases. It should be permeable to allow the exchange, means it should allow. So as we said, leaves are permeable to oxygen. The oxygen can enter through the surface of leaf. If it is not permeable, then it will not allow oxygen to enter. Okay, so these criteria are very important for any respiratory organ. The third criteria is it should be moist. So if you talk about certain animals, for example earthworms or frogs, how is their skin? Their skin is moist, and that skin helps in the exchange of gases. And why is it moist? Because these animals generally are present in the moist environment. Okay. With that, now going further ahead, in your textbook it is mentioned that gaseous exchange in plants, how do it occurs? Now if you talk about the gaseous exchange, dear students, plants have two major structures for exchange of gases. One is via the leaves. Now if you notice any leaf of the plant, you will see that there are small pores on the surface of the leaf. And what are these pores called? The pores are called as stomata. So stomata helps in the exchange of gases, right? And that's why it will be considered as basically stomatal respiration, you can say. At the same time, there are pores on the surface of the stem of the plants. Through this also the exchange of gases occurs. So that is, those pores are known as lenticels. Okay, dear students. Fine. So in plants we have two major pores. One is stomata, which are present in the leaves. Second is lenticels, which are present on the stem. Now, in case of animals, how does the exchange of gases occurs? Now for animals, dear students, as we know that animals are much more complex compared to the plants. So in animals, there are present of certain respiratory structures, respiratory organs which are made up of further tissues. And for example, if you talk about from simplest to higher forms of animals, like if you talk about the simplest ones, let's say earthworms. Now earthworms they basically undergo exchange of gases through the skin, that is through their moist skin. But at the same time, if you talk about the higher forms comparatively, for example, if you talk about the fishes, they have more developed structures for respiratory, for respiration, and these are known as gills. If you talk about the higher terrestrial animals, they have lungs. So depending on the complexity of organism, the respiratory organs can also become complex. So that means, dear students, in animals there are different types of respiratory organs. It can be skin, it can be lungs, it can be gills. At the same time, in your 12th standard textbook, they have mentioned about different respiratory organs which are also given. You can just go through this chart which has been mentioned on the left hand side. Okay. Now with that, now there are some additional questions which I would like to discuss with you all. The first question they have asked is, as I said, that now dear students, you will be able to answer those three questions. Remember at the beginning of the video we had discussed. What was the first question saying? Definition of respiration. Now can you answer? I'm pretty sure you will be able to answer. What is respiration, dear students? It can be breakdown of stored form of energy into simpler form, and what is released? Energy in the form of ATP. So you can define respiration as stored energy is converted into simpler form, and what is released is energy. Here you can give as an example the equation of aerobic respiration. So that can also be supported in that answer. Fine. The second question is the types of cellular respiration. So as we said, either glucose can be broken in the presence of oxygen or it can be broken in the absence of oxygen. So if it is in the presence of oxygen, it will be called as aerobic respiration. If it is in the absence of oxygen, it will be called as anaerobic respiration. Right? So these will be the two basic types of cellular respiration. What will be the third answer? Why should we all respire all the time? Why should we respire all the time? So just imagine, guys, when we are respiring, we are continuously breathing throughout the day. Even while sleeping, when we are at rest, we are breathing at that time also. Because the cells constantly require energy, guys. If the cell, correct? So that means the organs which are present in our body, they are continuously working throughout the day as well as even when we are sleeping. And that's why they require continuous supply of energy. So hence we can say that respiration is necessary all the time so that the cells will carry out their functions. Okay. The next question was, what would happen if respiration takes place in one single step? What would happen if the respiration takes place in one single step, guys? See, we said that glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen. But is glucose broken down in one single step? The answer is no. Glucose is broken down in many steps, dear students. That means because there are many steps, more amount of energy will be released. As to, suppose if glucose was broken in one single step, less amount of energy will be released. But for every organism, if you notice, every organism requires lot of energy depending on the complexity. That's why glucose is broken in the many step process, or you can say in many steps. So it is not a single step process. Okay, so next question, what are the main features of respiratory surface? As we just said, respiratory surface, it should have maximum surface area, so that more amount of oxygen can be taken in. It should have it should be vascular, so it should have blood vessels. At the same time, it should be moist, right? So that it can help in the exchange of gases in the moist environments. For example, at the same time, basically it should be permeable. So permeable means it should allow the entry of gases through it. Otherwise, if it doesn't allow the entry of gases, obviously oxygen cannot come in, carbon dioxide cannot go out, so respiration won't take in. Okay, next, what are the parts of plant that help in the process of gaseous exchange? So what are the different parts we just said? One is stomata, other was lenticels. And okay, so with that, dear students, we have completed one single page of biology today. So, and I hope you have understood the concept of respiration today. This is tough. If you have understood the video, dear students, and if it is helpful for you, please like the video and put it in the comment box. So whatever doubts you have, please put in the comment section. I will be there to help you out, and of course I will be coming with more and more and more videos for you all. Till that time, take care, bye bye, and have a great day. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot.